Okay, we're having fun here in O'Fallon Park, and we have with us another lady that wants to state her views on some things. Who do we have with us?
Kendra Tatum.
Hello, Kendra. How are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
Okay, good. Kendra, this is a show that's about cops. What would you like to say? You had a few things you wanted to talk about.
Yes, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. I wanted to say that parallel to police brutality and unfortunately the some bad cops that we have is government surveillance. When I talk about surveillance, I'm talking about Fred Hampton. I'm talking about black identity extremists and how the FBI has infiltrated groups like the Black Panther group. Well, when it comes to street cameras, license plate readers, and the different ways that cops and bad cops can use information against individuals, especially individuals that are part of marginalized communities like the LGBTQ community, Muslims, as well as activists, we should be concerned about that.
Well, do you think that they can use that information for something good as well?
They could. But unfortunately, surveillance has only been, research has shown that it's only had an impact on property crime, not violent crime. And violent crime is actually the crime that we see here in St. Louis. So I just want to tell people to look into Board Bill 94 in the city of St. Louis, those that live in the city. And if they agree with it, tell their alderwoman, tell their alderman to support the Board Bill 94.
So what is Board Bill 94?
That Board Bill states that since there is no legislation that's controlling how surveillance is being used, it allows for alder people who are elected officials, to guide how long data is being stored on people, how it's being used, whether or not it's being used in order to in a way that's discriminatory to black people, in a way that's discriminatory to brown people. It just gives someone control of it, especially gives someone being our elected official, so that that information isn't just being used rampantly however the police, especially unfortunately those bad cops, may want to use it.
Okay, now you're a part of an organization that tries to watch things that the police do. What's that organization?
I'm a part of a few different organizations, including Privacy Watch, as well as the Coalition Against Police Crimes and Repression.
And what do they do?
The Coalition Against Police Crimes and Repression, really their mission statement is in the name. And I didn't get as much clearance I haven't talked to them about being able to talk about them on TV, but I'm assuming that they would appreciate the advertising. They started back in about 1983 when a woman who was on her front porch and a police chase was happening, she ended up getting shot. And so they're around to be sure that there aren't those bad cops that are causing people harm and misusing their authority as cops.
What would you say in your unofficial estimate? What percentage of cops would you think might be corrupt or might be the bad seed?
That's a really hard question to answer, especially with all the things that are going on these days. I mean, it seems like the bad.
How about the majority of them? You think the majority is bad?
It feels like the majority these days. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to be pulled over by a cop during the day, and especially not at night.
Okay. Do you feel safer with white cops or black cops?
I would feel safer with a black cop. I would hope that individual has like my best interest in mind.
Well, I noticed that at one point in time, some of the police shootings were done by black cops. Does that make a difference to you?
It does. I have to say that unfortunately people in our own community don't always have our best interests in mind, and that's something that's heartbreaking.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the public ought to be able to vote as to whether or not a cop is fired?
Yes, they do. I think they should, especially those people in the community that have lost loved ones. I mean, I've lost a loved one by the hands of the police.
Well, how long ago was that?
That was in 2015.
Do you think it was justified?
I don't think it was justified.
All right. What do you think police ought to do differently?
I think community policing is important, that the cops are getting to know the community, but not only that we need to invest more in rec centers, in before and after school programs, in preschool programs, in a bunch of things that are job training programs, summer programs for youth to have jobs. There are other ways to decrease crime by giving people more access to education and income. Having a living wage versus a minimum wage is important.
So you think the politicians ought to do more and not dump all this responsibility on the police? All right, what about families? Do you think families ought to start policing their own kids?
Definitely. The parents.
Maybe most of the problem is the families. May not be the police.
I think most of the problem would be the government and all the inequalities that are running rampant than the families, but maybe after the inequalities, the families.
I've had a number of people to say that they feel that the police ought to get more involved with the community and intermingle with the people. At one time, they used to walk the beat. Now they drive the street. Do you think they need to walk around and start getting involved with the people more?
Definitely. If I see another cop on the side of the road waiting for me to commit some type of traffic infraction to pull me over and give me a ticket, I can just holler. Definitely, please walk the street.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the police officers that will see the show?
So I appreciate you all putting your lives on the line for us here in St. Louis each day you work. And I hope and I'm asking you to take more responsibility when you see your colleagues that you can tell have biases. They're making racial and gender slurs and all kinds of other slurs. Hold them accountable to what they're saying, because that bad seed is only going to rotten the whole apple.
All right, the whole bushel is going to get made rotten all because of you bad apples. You heard it from Kendra Tatum. Thank you, Kendra. If you have an issue that you'd like to discuss with us, or you just like to shout out to us, or just give your comments, you can reach us at tvallaboutcops@gmail.com.